Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to my review of tonight's edition of Monday Night Raw. And tonight's Raw was held from the American Airlines Arena in Dallas, Texas. And I gotta say, Raw tonight, I thought it was a solid show. Like the, some stuff that was on tonight's show. It had build up for WrestleMania. But all in all, I just thought it was a solid show tonight. Of course, we had the Ultimate Deletion match with Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt, which I'll get to that. And Raw opened up tonight with Kurt Angle coming out, saying that Roman Reigns' suspension is still in effect and that Roman won't be here. And he goes on to say that Brock Lesnar hasn't made it to the arena, and that Vince said to Kurt that Lesnar will make it to Raw tonight. Kurt also says, what's he gonna do with Braun? With Braun, with Strowman win the tag team battle royal last week. But then we see Roman then trespasses in the arena, and he says to Kurt, that he was telling the truth about Lesnar. And, Kurt ends up telling Roman, if he wants to get his hands on Lesnar, he has to wait, 3 weeks until WrestleMania. And Roman says, he is not leaving the ring until he faces Lesnar tonight. And so, Kurt Angle ends up getting out of the ring. Roman brings in a chair, ends up sitting in the ring, waiting for Lesnar to come out, to hopefully come out. And then we see these U.S. Marshals, 3 U.S. Marshals come out, and, they tell Roman, stand up, they read Roman his rights. They end up handcuffing Roman, and, all 3 U.S. Marshals try to escort him out of the ring. And, Roman's like, oh, don't touch me. Don't touch me. And then Roman goes and elbows all 3 of these Marshals. And then we see Brock Lesnar end up coming out. And he then suplexes Roman. He gave Roman, I forgot how many suplexes though. I lost count of that. But he ends up, he also ends up hitting Roman with a steel chair. The steel chair that Roman ended up bringing into the ring. So basically it was, Lesnar doing all that, suplexing Roman, hitting Roman with the chair. And he then hit the F5 on Roman. And so after, he hit the F5, he ended up getting out of the ring. Well, there was a few times where we thought Lesnar was done with Roman, but Lesnar ended up coming back into the ring and doing more damage to Roman with the suplexes and the chair. And we see the EMTs end up coming out, and they put Roman, on a stretcher. And then right when Roman was, being put on a stretcher, there were some people in the crowd saying, "You deserve it," "You deserve it," chant. Which, even though I'm not, a fan of, I'm not a fan of Roman, the guy was, taken out and pretty much, hurt badly by Lesnar. So, but, as Roman was being put on the stretcher, Lesnar ends up coming out again, and then he ends up pushing the stretcher with Roman, on it. He, just pushes it over, and that pretty much ended the segment. But I gotta say, it was a good opening to Raw. With Lesnar coming out, because Lesnar hasn't been showing up, in weeks, and it was good to see Lesnar come out, tonight. They did a build for their WrestleMania match, which I'm not looking forward to that match, which we all know what the outcome is going to be. Hopefully, the match is not the main event. Because if it's the main event, people are going to riot. People at WrestleMania are going to riot. So, but it was a good opening to Raw tonight. It was a good segment to open Raw tonight. And then we get the first match, which was Alexa Bliss versus Asuka. Before the match even started, we saw Alexa and Mickie James out there, and I was like, what was up with Mickie James's hair tonight? But it looked like she came. It looks like she came out of the 50s, or traveled back in time and back to 2018 from a year in the 50s with that hairstyle. But both of them are out. Alexa says last week she said some things about Nia that were wrong, and her and Mickie were joking around. She got carried away and she didn't know that the mic was live. Last week, and Nia and everybody in the crowd and everybody watching last week heard it all. And it's just that little like baby face, Alexa that she does, that she did, and then she went back in her heel persona. But she says she apologized to Nia, but but after this, she went back into her heel persona where she's like, she has no remorse for Nia, and that she only used Nia, and Alexa ends up calling Nia a loser. And then she says she's going to end Asuka's undefeated streak. And so the match got underway. So it was Asuka versus Alexa Bliss. And this match, it was okay. Wasn't the best in my opinion, though. But, it was just back and forth between Asuka and Alexa. Asuka won the match because, Alexa, got out of the ring. So Asuka won the match by countout because Alexa didn't get back in the ring. So after the match, Nia Jax ends up coming out. She ends up taking out Mickie, and Alexa tries to run, but Nia ends up getting her. Mickie comes, back up to help Alexa, but Nia ends up throwing Mickie into the ring, and then we just saw Nia end up chasing Alexa to the back. They went through the crowd. So, but all in all, Asuka versus Alexa was okay. And then when Raw came back from commercial, we saw Alexa approach Kurt Angle. Alexa saying that Nia should be arrested for what she did out there. Kurt says to Alexa, she saw what. Sorry about that, but when I was saying, Alexa, the Alexa, Amazon Echo ended up coming on. I'm like, wow. So, but yeah, Kurt says, to Alexa, she saw what Nia did and what, Alexa said last week. And then Kurt ends up saying to Alexa that, it's going to be her versus Nia at WrestleMania for the Raw Women's title, which, we all knew it was going to happen. We all predicted it. So that's going to happen at WrestleMania. Just predictable. We all knew it was coming. So, and then we had Braun Strowman ended up coming out. Says he won, the tag team battle royal by himself, and he's going to WrestleMania. But earlier today, Kurt Angle said, Braun, has to choose a part, has to pick a partner because he won the tag team battle royal last week. But Strowman ends up saying he doesn't need a partner, and he knows that he could win the tag team titles by himself. And Cesaro and Sheamus end up coming out. Sheamus says to Braun that he's out of his mind, and if he can beat if he could beat the both of them, both Cesaro and Sheamus. Sheamus says Braun doesn't have a chance at WrestleMania, and that, both him and Cesaro are walking out of WrestleMania with the tag team titles still. Braun says, to the both of them that, that he has a partner for WrestleMania, and that, he ends up saying that, Kurt said to him that he's got a match with either Cesaro or Sheamus right now. And so, Cesaro and Sheamus get on top of the apron, and he does a little trick, Cesaro and Sheamus does. And then, it's actually Cesaro that, is going to be taking on Strowman. And so that's what the match was, Braun Strowman versus Cesaro. The match itself, it was decent. Pretty much it was Strowman, dominating through the match. But, Cesaro, at points, trying to work on Strowman, try to, take Strowman down. You had Sheamus try to interfere in part of the match. But Strowman ended up winning the match with a power slam to Cesaro to score the win. So, all in all, it was a decent match between Strowman and Cesaro. More, them to make Strowman look more stronger and, build him up a lot more, than, what he already is. And then we got, Matt Hardy promos in the Hardy compound, which were cool. I actually really enjoyed these promos tonight from Hardy, and they were pretty cool. And then we had the Revival, Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder versus Titus Worldwide, Titus O'Neil and Apollo. This match was decent also. Back and forth between them. We knew that from right there, the Revival was probably going to win the match because, they've been building up, Titus and Apollo, thinking that, oh, we're going to see them get, like a title shot, a shot at the tag team titles. But the Revival ended up getting the win. They hit the Shatter Machine on Apollo to score the win. And after the match, they say that, there is no tag team qualified than them. And they, the Revival, Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder, they declared that they will win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal at WrestleMania. So they both are confirmed for, the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, which is, cool. And I'm glad that they're doing the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. There was talk saying that they weren't going to do it at WrestleMania this year, but I guess those plans have changed. And now that the Women's Battle Royal, they're not calling it the Fabulous Moolah because of all the backlash with Fabulous Moolah, from what I heard. So they're gonna name the Women's Battle Royal something else. Have it be like a more famous former superstar from back in the day. A lot of people were petitioning to name it in honor of China. So that would be pretty cool if they if they do that. So but yeah, the Revival versus Titus Worldwide, it was a decent match. And then we had Absolution, Sonya Deville, Mandy Rose versus Bayley and Sasha Banks. Before the match even started, Sasha ended up coming out. She says she wanted to fix what's going on between her and Bayley. She ends up saying, she wasn't trying to betray their friendship because, she was trying to win to get an opportunity to go to WrestleMania. And she says she didn't like how Bayley left her, last week, where, Bayley just ended up, getting off the ring apron. And Bayley gets on the mic and says, she was angry at Elimination Chamber. saying, how Sasha, pushed her off, the chamber pod, in the match. And Bayley ends up saying, last week she helped Sasha win, and it's because, she can't get over what Sasha did at Elimination Chamber. Says, she grabbed her, Sasha ended up, grabbing her hand, and, Sasha ended up watching Bayley fall, and she says that, Sasha also ended up smiling at that. And then, Absolution ended up coming out. Paige was like, oh, it's time for a match. Enough of this, whiny thing. And we're going to show how real women fight. With Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose. And the match got on the way. Absolution, Sonya Deville, and Mandy Rose versus Bayley and Sasha Banks. This match was okay. It was back and forth between them. At points of the match where Bayley and Sasha, they weren't getting along. There was points Bayley tagging Sasha on the back, and Sasha was working on it was Mandy Rose, and the ref was trying to break it apart because they were both of them were taking each other out. And so it led to, Sasha and Bayley, arguing a little bit. They end up getting pushed, and Sonya ends up laying Bayley out with a kick. So Absolution wins the match. And from what I thought, after the match, I thought we were going to get something, have Sasha maybe turn heel, or Bayley turn heel, which don't want to see. But I thought we were going to get that, but no. Just went to commercial, which was disappointing because I would like to have seen if Sasha or Bayley was going to turn heel. And from what I heard, the match for WrestleMania, they're not going to do it. Which sucks. That's from what I heard. With these articles online. So then after that, we had John Cena coming out, saying he gave a challenge to Undertaker last week, and he says tonight we find out if he has a response. And Cena says Taker is hiding because he's been embarrassed, for losing to Roman last year at WrestleMania. And Cena says, he hasn't heard nothing from Taker, and that's the biggest mistake, Taker has made, which Cena says. And Cena goes, he would love to go to WrestleMania as Taker's opponent, but he says he's heard nothing from Undertaker. And, that is, disrespectful. And he then goes on to say that, Undertaker is a coward. And, he tells, Undertaker to do something, shoot, lightning, or, have the lights go off, But then, Kane ends up coming out, and Cena tells him if, it's a yes or no. And then Kane ends up chokeslamming Cena. To end the segment. But I gotta say, it was a good segment from Cena. It was a good segment. I really, liked it. I like this, like seeing this aggressive Cena. And it was announced later in the night on Raw that's gonna be Cena versus Kane next week on Raw from Cleveland. So that match is happening next week. And then we get Miz coming out saying, he's angry. He's angry he can't get on a WrestleMania magazine, and that, he's not getting no respect. He ends up saying that, if he gets respect, he will take it and, gain respect when he becomes the longest Intercontinental Champion at WrestleMania, which he then gets interrupted by Gallows and Anderson and Finn Balor. And that's what led to this match. Once again, a 6-man tag team match. Yeah. How, you know, I'm like, this year we've seen nothing but 6-man tag team matches. And 6, woman tag team matches also. Like I said, WWE loves the number 6. So, but, yeah, so it was Gallows, Anderson, and Balor versus Miz and Miztourage, Curtis Axel, Bo Dallas. Seth Rollins was on commentary during the match. The match itself, it was okay. It was okay. I liked the pairing of Gallows, Anderson, and Balor. They were just taking out, Miz and Curtis Axel, Bo Dallas. Gallows, Anderson, and Balor won the match with Balor rolling up the Miz. So, and then you had after the match, Miz and Miztourage ended up beating down on Gallows, Anderson, and Finn. And then we see Seth end up coming down, and he takes out Curtis Axel, of course Bo Dallas, and then he curb stomps Miz, and it's just Seth and Balor in the ring, looking at each other. So, but all in all, match itself, it was decent. It was okay. And then we get to the main event, which was the Ultimate Deletion match between Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt. And like I said, I like the Hardy promos that were done for tonight. I thought they were cool. This Ultimate Deletion match, I know people are gonna shit all over it, but I gotta say, the match itself, this match itself, it was enjoyable. I gotta say it was also original. I gotta say, this was better than the House of Horrors match that Bray had with Orton from Payback last year. Gotta say, it was entertaining in my opinion. I don't care what anybody says. It was entertaining. It was original. Although at some points it made you felt like, oh, is this WWE or is this backyard wrestling? For people that do backyard wrestling on YouTube. But the match, it went all around the Hardy compound. The match ended with Matt Hardy pinning Bray. He ends up tossing Bray into the lake, and we find out that Bray is not in the lake, and Raw ends like that. But we saw like a second of Jeff Hardy there, which was cool. Jeff Hardy's possibly going to be Brother Nero. So it was cool seeing Jeff Hardy there for a split second right there. But the match itself, it went all over. They used weapons. They used a ladder. There was at one point a comedic scene where Matt Hardy was on the lawnmower, and he just heard the I think it was the 1812 Overture, which was funny though. But they said, oh, this is going to be the last time that they feud, but I don't think so. I think that they're going to have a WrestleMania match, the match at WrestleMania. So, but who knows if they're going to have the match at WrestleMania, have another match at Mania. Hope they do. But All the Ultimate Deletion match, I liked it. I know a lot of people are probably going to shit on the match, but like I said, I thought it was better than the House of Horrors match that Bray had with Orton at Payback last year, where the crowd who attended Payback, they were chanting "boring" throughout that match at Payback. But I said I had some enjoyment out of the Ultimate Deletion match. Was it a perfect match? No, but it was enjoyable. It was something original that was never done on WWE TV. But so anyways, that's it for my review of tonight's edition of Monday Night Raw. Thank you all for watching, and be sure to give this video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all back here tomorrow night for my SmackDown review and also the Mixed Match Challenge review. So I'll see you all tomorrow night for that review.